Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're breaking down this incredibly comprehensive guide on mastering Filipino maturity. We're really diving deep into how we can use our 30s to build an intentional, truly meaningful life. If you feel like your days are just flying by in this endless blur of work, traffic, and family obligations, well, you're in the exact right place. We're going to audit exactly where we spend our energy and figure out how to recalibrate for the long haul.
So ask yourself right now and be completely honest here. Are you just surviving your 30s? Because look, your 30s are no longer about just going with the flow, experimenting, or simply trying to make it to the weekend. Nope. This is the absolute critical stage of your life where your habits, whether they're good or bad, actually begin to compound. Think of it like a snowball rolling downhill. The results of how you live daily are literally starting to show up right now in your energy levels, your bank account, and your relationships.
Okay, let's dive right into this. We're organizing this life audit into 4 thematic pillars. First up, foundation, body and mind. Then, environments, wealth and people. Third, internal world, emotions and forgiveness. And finally, execution, goals and action.
Let's start right off with Pillar 1, foundation, body and mind. These physical and mental shifts are the absolute bedrock we need. You know the reality of a busy schedule, right? It makes convenience so incredibly tempting. It's just so easy to rely on fast food, instant noodles, or giving in to that late-night silog craving with processed meats like hot dog, tocino, and longanisa. But here's the catch. Relying on these convenient Filipino staples actually compounds negatively over time. It translates directly into weight gain, mood swings, and just this deep, heavy fatigue. And alongside cleaning up what we eat, the source material places a huge emphasis on strength training. Now, you don't need to be a massive bodybuilder, but doing push-ups at home or lifting weights is absolutely vital to protect your joints and mobility as you age. Muscle loss after 30 is very real, and we've got to actively fight it.
Now, what's really interesting here is how culturally we've totally normalized puyat. Between grinding on side hustles, scrolling through social media, massive Netflix binges, or those late-night Jollibee runs, sacrificing sleep is almost worn like a badge of honor. But we really need to contrast that with the massive biological benefits of prioritizing rest. A regular lack of sleep just wreaks total havoc on your decision-making, your hunger cues, your mood, and your overall productivity. Oh, and part of this physical foundation, it also means taking care of your appearance. Proper grooming and good hygiene aren't just vanity, guys. They signal self-respect and competence in all your social and professional interactions.
Moving over to the mind, we've got to confront a super common self-limiting reflex. You've probably heard it or even said it. Hindi ako marunong dyan. I don't know how to do that. Especially when it comes to new tech, like artificial intelligence. This mindset is a massive roadblock. Listen, in your 30s, adaptability is your greatest asset. So instead of fearing AI or just brushing it off, we actually must learn it. You can use it to draft letters, summarize long documents, or prepare reports. It's just a tool, but it's a tool that can make your work significantly faster. You want to let it become your advantage, definitely not your excuse.
And a huge part of a healthy mindset is reframing how we view our setbacks. Look, you are not stuck just because of some choices you made in your 20s. Treat failures as lessons, not life sentences. If you opened a sorry store or maybe an online selling business and it didn't succeed, do not immediately label yourself a failure. Seriously, you take a step back and you analyze what went wrong. Was it the pricing? The location? Once you figure that out, you improve and you try again. It's honestly never too late to start over.
All right, moving on to Pillar 2, environment, wealth, and people. This is where we look at how we manage outward resources and the company we keep.
And this brilliantly illustrates how incredibly easy it is to fall into the trap of using money for status. Upgrading to the newest phone, buying a flashy motorcycle, a luxury watch, or booking that expensive travel package just for the flex. The social media pressure to look successful is literally everywhere. But true financial maturity? That's trading the flex in for money that buys freedom. It means building an emergency fund, carrying low debt, and ultimately having real peace of mind. Money shouldn't be used to impress strangers on the internet. It should give you options, let you say no to toxic situations, and protect your family during emergencies.
But just as important as your wealth is your circle. The people around you directly influence your habits and your future. If your circle constantly complains, gossips, or overspends, well, you're likely going to do the exact same thing. We really need to avoid people who are pasa or puro salita. Those who are all talk and only show up when they need a favor. Instead, surround yourself with action. Value the person who consistently shows up, keeps their word, and actually respects your boundaries. Find people who inspire you to be disciplined and grounded.
Next up is Pillar 3, internal world,
Emotions and forgiveness. Let's look inward for a minute.
We need to see how some deep-seated cultural traits are affecting our mental peace. Take the really common reflex, hayaan mo na. Just let it be. In so many Filipino families, issues are completely left unresolved just to avoid confrontation. But that unresolved anger, it quietly chips away at your mood and your decisions. The hard truth about forgiveness, whether it's forgiving your parents, an ex, or even yourself for past mistakes, is that it isn't about pretending what happened was okay. Actually, true forgiveness is really about freeing yourself from carrying that heavy burden of resentment.
So the crucial point here is emotional maturity when facing daily triggers. We're talking traffic, a demanding boss, family expectations, or even government delays. You simply cannot control any of these things. Especially in a culture heavily influenced by haya, that sense of shame, or tampo, that passive-aggressive sulking, it's so easy to take things personally. But sometimes a short text reply is literally just a short text reply. We have to learn to assume positive intent, take a pause, and control our emotional reactions instead of acting impulsively and creating unnecessary drama.
Finally, we've arrived at Pillar 4, execution, goals and action. Time to get to work.
Let's see how this all builds together through granular goal setting. Having a vague target like gusto ko yumaman, I want to be rich, is practically useless because it gives you zero direction. You have to break it apart. You start big with a 3-year goal, like becoming financially stable. Then you step it down. Yearly, save a specific amount. Quarterly, finish a skill-building course. Monthly, track all your expenses. Weekly, meal prep. All the way down to your daily goal, sleeping on time and avoiding impulsive spending. This takes your ambition and makes it highly practical. To actually hit those daily goals, you've got to focus entirely on the process. Now I know, in the face of intense financial pressure, fast money is super tempting, but you must absolutely avoid get-rich-quick schemes, networking scams, and gambling. Sustainable success, it doesn't come from financial hype or some crash diet. It comes from building routines, developing skills, patience, and absolute consistency. The process itself is what actually changes you into a more disciplined and reliable person. Which brings us to this number, 1. 1 single year. You know, people consistently overestimate what they can pull off in a frantic 6 weeks, but they vastly underestimate what a single year of steady consistency can achieve. In just 1 year of not giving up, you could pay down significant debts, completely transform your fitness, or learn a high-income skill. You don't even need to be perfect every single day. You just need to keep returning to the right habits over the course of that 1 year. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Who will you be 1 year from today? Because the real goal of mastering your 30s isn't just to look successful online. It's to secure absolute peace of mind, financial stability, and deep emotional maturity. Take the insights from this audit, apply them to your daily life starting right now, and just watch how things transform. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time as we keep breaking down the ideas that shape our lives.